All right, so taking a comfortable seat to start. However you would normally sit, either cross-legged or back on your heels, whatever you prefer. Let your arms relax by your sides, palms resting in the lap. Feel your spine lift and lengthen, and let the shoulder blades draw down away from the ears. Gently close your eyes as you just let your body arrive in this seat. Feel free to shift your weight a little bit or adjust if you need to be more comfortable. Notice if you're leaning far forward or back from the pelvis. And if you are, just try and find that alignment where the spine is suspended over the back of the sacrum. Feel your neck lengthen as the head draws back over the rest of the spine. With the eyes closed, take a moment to notice how you're feeling this evening. Just scanning through your body, acknowledging your energy level and any physical sensations that you notice. Notice where your thoughts are right now and what your mood is like. Consider what your body needs from a yoga practice tonight and what you could let go of. And then start to shift your attention to the sound and sensation of your own breath. Feeling the air coming in and out through the nose. And tuning into that soft sound. And over the next few rounds of breath, begin to consciously slow down the speed of your breath and deepen the origin of each inhalation so that it's a very low expansion before you fill all the way up to the top of the lungs. Feel your whole upper body expand each time you draw air in. And then let it gradually contract each time you exhale until there's no breath left. Settle into a steady, even rhythm, one that is comfortable for you, that you can maintain throughout our movement tonight. And the next time that you breathe in, you can float the eyes open. We're going to open the arms and reach up over the head. Join your palms together and gaze toward your thumbs. Energize through the lower back and abdominals as you reach upward, creating more length through your spine. The next time that you exhale, slowly float the arms open. Reach the hands behind the back and clasp your fingers, or you can do this with a strap. Roll your shoulder blades back and gently extend the arms behind you. On an inhalation, lift your ribcage and chest and arch your spine. You can look up a little bit if you'd like. You don't have to drop your head fully back. Good. Take one more deep breath in. And then exhale, lower the arms and separate the hands. Good. We're going to uncross the ankles. Take the feet out in front of you with your knees slightly bent and hold the back of your legs. Take a deep breath in and sit up tall. And then exhale, fold forward. Drop your head and reach your arms forward so your hands are under your ankles or feet. And tuck the chin to the chest, rounding your spine. Feel your sides and back ribs expand each time you breathe in. And draw your navel in every time that you breathe out. On an inhalation, roll yourself up out of the forward bend, and then we're going to come into table pose on the hands and knees. You can move aside anything that you might have been sitting on, and plant the palms shoulder width apart and the knees hip width apart. On an inhalation, lift your tailbone, chest, and chin. Exhale, drop your tailbone, round the spine, and tuck the chin. Again, inhaling and exhaling. Just moving through these spinal waves at your own pace, and feel free to add any other direction of movement if you like. Whatever would feel good in your spine, hips, and shoulders. And then arrive back at a neutral table pose. Extend your arms forward and press the chest down toward the mat for a half down dog. So keep your hips in line over the knees. Extend your spine and actively push against your palms so the arms and shoulders are engaged. Each time you exhale, feel your spine pull deeper into your body. We're trying to get rid of any rounding in the upper back here. Nice long spine. The next time you inhale, lift your head and come back to table pose. And then we're going to take a lunge. Step your right foot in between your hands. Slide your left knee down and back and sink down into your hips here. Good. If you like to use blocks, you can place blocks underneath your hands. And your back foot can either be toes pointed or tucked under, whichever feels better for your foot and ankle. On your next breath in, let's reach the arms up, lifting the spine for a crescent lunge. Stay low in the hips as you lift upward through the rib cage and the chest. And glide your arms back slightly, creating a little back bend in the upper spine. The next time you exhale, take both hands down to the inside of the right foot. Move the right foot over about an inch or two and turn it out at a slight angle. And let that knee and thigh drop away from your shoulder. You can stay up on your hands or your fists here, or bring your elbows to blocks or the ground. And we're going to take a little swaying motion side to side. So just rock your pelvis right to left. And when you go out to the right, really lean into that side, increasing the stretch for the outer hip. Good. You can let that rocking motion stop. We're going to keep the left hand on the mat or the block, rotate and reach the right arm up for a spinal twist. Actively push against the ground to engage the shoulder and twist from your navel all the way up the spine. You can even look up toward your right thumb. One more breath in and exhale that hand back to the mat. Let's move the foot out even wider so that you can plant your palms shoulder width apart. Tuck your back toes and lift that knee up off the ground, and then step the right foot back to find plank pose. Let's line the shoulders over the palms, feet together as you squeeze your inner and outer thighs, your glutes and your quads. Nice strong support in the lower body. Deep, slow breath here. I'm going to hold a few more. One more breath in. Exhale, bend the elbows, lower all the way to the ground. Point your toes, inhale to a low or a high cobra pose. And then exhale, roll back down, head to the floor. Twice more, inhale to roll up, open the chest. Exhale to let it go. And once more, inhale. Exhale, release. Good, press back up to table pose. We'll take that for the other side. Step your left foot in between your hands or your blocks, right knee down and back. And walk it a little farther back if you can, so you get a really good stretch in the quad and the psoas. The next time you inhale, reach the arms up over the shoulders. Lift your chest up toward the ceiling, low crescent lunge. Stay low in the hips, but lengthen upward through your spine. One more breath in. Exhale, both hands down to the inside of your left foot. Move that foot over an inch or two and turn it out, and then let the knee and thigh fall out as well. Good, and then start that swaying motion side to side, just leaning your pelvis to the right and left, and really getting into the left side to enhance that hip opening. And you can let that motion stop. Keep your right hand on the mat or the block. Rotate and reach your left arm up, spinal twist. With lots of strength to your right arm. Really push that point of contact. And then from your navel all the way up the spine, use your core strength to twist. Good, deep, slow breath. One more breath in. Exhale the left hand back to the mat. Move the left foot over even more and plant your palms shoulder width apart. Let's lift the back knee up and step the left foot back for plank. Good. Bring the feet and legs together, shoulders over the palms. 5 breaths here. One more breath in. Exhale, slowly lower to the ground. Inhale, cobra pose. Exhale, release. Inhale, push up to table. Exhale the hips back and then lift up for full down dog. Adjust your feet and hands if you need to. Let your head drop so your neck lengthens. And take several breaths here just to stretch it out in the pose for the first time tonight. You can alternate bending each knee a few times if you like, reaching the opposite heel down, stretching those calves and the Achilles tendons. Any other little movement in the pose that would feel good for you in the hips or the shoulders. Keep the breath slow and steady. On an inhalation, look between your hands. As you exhale, walk the feet to the front of the mat. Inhale to the flat back position, lengthening your spine and arms. Exhale, fold over your legs and drop your head and neck. Again, inhale, flat back, pressing against the shins. Exhale, forward bend. Once more. Inhale, get as long as you can. And then exhale, fold and release. So we're gonna hang here. You can grab your elbows, let your shoulders really sink down by the ears. Maybe even sway your upper body a little bit if that feels good. And you can let that swaying motion stop. Let go of the elbows if you're holding them. On an inhalation, open your arms, come up to stand and reach over your head. Exhale, release your arms by your sides. Good, make sure you're at the very front of the mat. We're going to take a few rounds of slow sun salutations. On an inhalation, reach over your head. Exhale, dive forward and fold. Inhale, flat back position. Exhale, walk to plank pose. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, lower to the ground. Inhale, cobra pose. Exhale, let it go. Inhale, push up to the knees. Exhale, hips back and then up for downward facing dog. Make any adjustment in the hands and feet that you need to. And then settle into the pose. About 5 deep breaths. On an inhalation, look forward. Exhale, step to the front of the mat. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, come all the way up to stand. Exhale, release the arms. Good, second round. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, dive forward. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, walk to plank. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, lower to the ground. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, let it go. Inhale, push to the knees. Exhale, hips back and up. Downward facing dog. Try and find one focal point. Let your neck relax. On an inhalation, look forward. Exhale, step the feet to the hands. Inhale, flat back position. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise up, reach over your head. Exhale, release. Once more through. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, dive forward. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, plank pose. Deep breath in. Exhale, slowly lower. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, let it go. Inhale, push to the knees. Exhale, hips back and up. Down dog. Be as active in your hands as you can. Really push the mat. Lengthen your arms. And feel your chest move toward the ground. One more breath in, look forward. Exhale, feet to the hands. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise up, reach over your head. Exhale, release your arms. Good, step your left foot back, and then we're going to take a wide-legged stance. You're going to parallel your heels out to the sides, toes in toward each other for a wide-legged forward bend. We're going to bring the hands to the waist here. Squeeze your shoulders and elbows back. And then lift your rib cage and chest. Good, get really strong in your legs, so squeeze your quads. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, send your hips back and upper body forward, coming down to your fold. Let your head and neck drop. Keep your hands at your waist for the first 5 breaths and work on actively squeezing your shoulder blades and elbows together. Good. Keep pressing into both feet. Front of the thighs are strong and lifting. The knees, back of the legs extending. The next time you exhale, release your hands down to the floor or to your blocks in between the feet. Keep that breath slow and steady. The next time you inhale, we're going to lift the head and chest, walk the hands or blocks forward so you have a flat back position, spine parallel to the floor. We're going to take a spinal twist, left palm stays down, rotate from your core as you reach the right arm up toward the ceiling. Good. Actively push against that point of contact so the left arm and shoulder are strong, and use your core strength to twist more deeply from the navel all the way up your spine. The next time you exhale, take the right hand down, find that flat back position, and then switch sides. Right palm stays on the mat, twist from your belly button as you raise the left arm. Let your exhalation help you twist more. Each time you fully exhale, you're drawing the navel in and contracting your abdominals. See if that gives you a little more rotation to the left. Good, exhale, take the left hand back to the mat. You're still in your flat back position. You're gonna hold that and bring your hands to the waist. Exhale, press your hips forward in space to stand upright. Good, turn your right toes forward toward the front of your mat and angle your left heel back a little bit. And still this wide stance. Let's open the arms out to the side and bend the right knee for warrior 2. So deep bend in the right knee, left leg is still strong and straight behind you. Good, actively reach your arms apart, get low in that front leg. And the next time you inhale, reach the left arm down, right arm up, and then side bend, reverse warrior 2, leaning back as you reach your right arm over your face toward whatever is behind you. The next time you inhale, take it back to warrior 2. Look down at the ground and exhale, cartwheel the hands to the mat. Lift your back heel up, which should put you in a lunge pose. Good, from here, step to downward facing dog. And adjust your feet and hands as you need to, and press back. And just notice any difference in the right and left hip or leg. We even that out in a moment. And on an inhalation, look forward. Exhale, step to the front of your mat. Inhale, flat back position. Exhale, forward bend. On an inhalation, rise up, reach overhead. And exhale, release your arms. Good, take a big step back with your right foot, and then find that wide-legged stance. I'm just going to do this facing the same direction so you see me from the front. We're taking our wide-legged forward bend again, so heels turned out slightly, big toes turned in slightly. This time we're going to take the hands behind the back, so clasp the fingers or use the strap here to connect your arms. Roll your shoulders and elbows back. Gently reach the fist toward the floor. Inhale, lift your ribcage and chest. Exhale, hips back, upper body folds forward. Gradually letting your arms lift up away from your spine as you fold. Good. Keep squeezing the shoulder blades toward the spine. 3 more breaths. And with an exhalation, lower your arms. You can separate the fingers or put the strap down and take your hands to the floor. We're going to inhale, lift the head and chest and walk your hands forward so you're in that flat back position again. Stay strong in your core and bring the hands to the waist. And then exhale, press your hips forward to stand up. Good. Turn your left toes forward toward the front of your mat and angle your right heel back a little bit. Let's open the arms and bend the left knee for warrior 2. Deep bend in that front leg. Back leg is strong and straight. Reach your arms apart. And the next time you inhale, right arm down, left arm reaches up. Exhale, lean back for reverse warrior 2. Left side bend. Feel your left arm move over your face, reaching toward the back of your mat. Good. On an inhalation, return to warrior 2. Exhale, cartwheel the hands to the mat. Lift your back heel up. Should be in a lunge. From here, step it up and back to downward facing dog. Adjust your feet so they're a few inches apart. Spread the fingers widely as you press back. Good. In this down dog, lift your heels up so you roll to the balls of the feet, stretching the knuckles of the toes and all those tendons. And then reach your heels down toward the ground as much as you can. Do that twice more, lifting the heels, coming to the balls of the feet, and reaching the heels to the ground. And once more on the tiptoes, and reach the heels toward the floor. Good. Bring the feet together, big toe knuckles and inner ankles touching. Come forward into plank pose. Shoulders in line over the palms. Good. Squeeze your inner thighs together. Engage your core and draw the navel in. And then lift your right toes off the mat, 2 or 3 inches. 3-legged plank. Keep that inner thigh engagement. Good. Put that foot down. Other side, lift your left toes 2 or 3 inches, but keep that active engagement. Inner thighs squeezing together. Good. Put the foot down. Bend your elbows, lower all the way to the floor. Good. Let's just take a rest here. You can make a pillow with your forearms. Put your forehead down on the wrists. And just rest facing down for a few breaths. We're going to take a little quad stretch from here. You can support your forehead with your left forearm. Bend your right knee and reach back for the top of the foot or front of the ankle and gently guide that heel closer to your hip. If your quads are tight, you might not need to do very much other than this. If you want a little bit more in this stretch, you can press the front of your pelvis against the mat, kind of trying to tuck your tailbone. You could also try and lift the right thigh an inch or 2 off the ground as you bring the heel close to your hip. Take 3 more deep breaths here. Really expand your inhalation against the floor. Bend your left knee and reach back to take the top of the foot or front of the ankle. And start to guide the heel closer to your hip. You can tuck the pelvis by pressing the front of the hip bones into the floor, or also lift the left thigh if the stretch is not quite enough for you. One more deep breath in, and exhale. Release and let go of the leg. You're going to take your forehead directly on the mat and place the palms outside of the chest where they go for cobra pose. And we're going to take the legs slightly wider apart than hip width. Point your toes and squeeze your glutes to press the front of the pelvis into the floor. You should feel that that takes out some of the arch in your lower back. I want you to keep that energy and action in your legs and your pelvis the whole time you work on this cobra pose variation. Squeeze the shoulders back and lift your chest and rib cage as high off the mat as you can. Come into a high cobra while you're really actively squeezing the glutes and legs. So shoulder blades draw down away from your ears. Elbows are really close to your upper body. See how much of your abdomen you can lift away from the ground. Deep breath, strong legs. Good. If this is really intense, you can stay here. This wide leg, high cobra. If you want to try adding the quad stretch, bend your knees and try and point your toes together behind your back. One more deep breath in. Exhale, lower your upper body first, so nice and slowly. Then release the legs. You can take your arms by your sides and turn your head down to one side. Just take a few breaths here, resting on the mat. Let your shoulders sink down. And let go of that active energy in the legs. We're going to try that just once more. Forehead down, palms outside of the chest where they go for cobra. Legs are a little bit wider than hip width and really active as you squeeze your glutes and press the front of the pelvis into the floor. Come into a high cobra. Lift your chest and rib cage and as much of your lower abdomen away from the ground as you can, but front of the pelvis is on the mat. So it's a little bit different than upward facing dog. Good. Low, deep breath. Feel free to stay right here or bend your knees and try and point your big toes together behind your back. So adding that quad and psoas stretch. Last breath in. Exhale, lower your upper body first, then the legs. Let your arms come down and turn your head to the other side. Let your whole body rest here on the floor. And then I'm going to have you bend your knees and just switch the heels back and forth from side to side. Little windshield wipers to loosen up the lower back. And then you can let the feet and legs come down. From here, just carefully turn over onto your back. So you don't have to change the direction you're facing. Just roll right over. And once you're on your back, bend your knees, planting the feet underneath the knees. And take a few breaths here just to let your back settle into the floor. We're going to take one more back bending posture, but also as a way to stretch the quads and psoas like the last pose. So we're going to work on bridge. Bring your heels in as close to your hips as you can and gather your shoulder blades together under your back. So just kind of wiggle them in one at a time until you feel really open across your chest, and then press against your feet and hands and lift your hips up for bridge. Get as much of your spine off the ground as you can. So arch the upper back. nice deep breath here. One more breath in. Exhale and roll your spine back to the ground. Once the hips touch, separate your shoulder blades and let your back relax against the floor. You can close your eyes here if you like. Just notice the energy in your body after that posture. If you're really active, intense pose, heart rate can go up a lot. Just give yourself a moment to settle before you repeat the posture. When you're ready for a second round of bridge, let's gather the shoulder blades under the back again. So shimmy them in and press against the feet and hands. Lift your hips and spine as high as possible. Maybe gather the shoulder blades together again. You can interlace the fingers if the hands comfortably meet each other. And just like that cobra variation, focus on really squeezing your glutes and curling the tailbone forward. Strong active hamstrings, trying to shift the arch into the upper back. So that action in your pelvis is going to help protect the lower back and not let the arch rest entirely there. Good. The next time you exhale, slowly roll it down. Separate the hands if they were connected. And separate the shoulder blades once the hips touch the mat. Okay, let's open the arms out into a T position. Let the arms and shoulders feel really heavy against the ground. Let's separate the feet about as wide as the yoga mat and drop the knees slowly back and forth for windshield wipers. Again, to loosen up the lower back. And the next time your knees drop to the right side of your mat, let them stay down there. Really heavy in the legs. Raise your left arm up and over your head, reaching actively away from your left hip, expanding into that side of the upper body. And see if you can press the left knee a little lower to the ground as you hold this side stretch. The next time you exhale, release the left arm out to the side again and pick the knees up. And then drop the knees to the left. Let them hang nice and heavy. Raise your right arm up and then over your head, actively stretching it away from the hip. Nice deep full breath here. And see if you can press the right knee a little lower to the ground here. A few more breaths. And the next time you exhale, take the right arm out to the side again and pick the knees up. Walk your feet all the way together so the inside edges of the feet touch, and then let your knees fall open out to the side for reclined bound angle pose. If the hips are tight here, you can support this posture with blocks outside of the knees or the thighs. And you can keep your arms out to the side or wherever they are more comfortable. Now have you close the eyes here and take 10 slow breaths. And let go of any holding or active energy in the glutes or the legs. Let your shoulders and upper back feel heavy against the floor. Allow your lower jaw to relax. And let go of any holding in your neck. once you've completed 10 breaths here, gently close the knees. Bring the knees to your chest and wrap the arms around the legs, and just rock a little bit side to side. And then rotate the knees around in a wide circle several times in each direction to massage your sacrum and your lower back. And I want to finish tonight with a few seated postures. I'm going to have us rock on the spine unless you prefer to just roll over and sit up from your side. If you like rocking on your spine, tuck your chin to your chest and start to build some momentum as you bring the legs toward your face, rolling up and down along your spinal column a few times until you eventually roll yourself upright. And once you're upright, you can take a seat. I'm going to do my seated poses sitting up on a blanket because my hips and hamstrings are a little tight. If you have some support, you can take that as well. And we're going to start with the seated version of bound angle pose. So the pose we just did on our back. So we're going to bring the soles of the feet together and open the knees out to the side. Hold your ankles or feet, whatever you can reach, and sit up really tall through your spine. Feel the shoulder blades glide down the back. And in the reclined posture, we're really passive and relaxed in the legs. Here in the seated posture, I want you to be pretty active in your outer hips and thighs. So if you contract your external rotators, that's going to help you widen your knees and stretch the internal rotators more. So see if you can feel that squeezing action. Outer thighs, outer glutes. If this is an intense stretch, you can stay upright. You don't have to forward bend. If you'd like to fold, start by tucking the chin to the chest, lengthen your neck, and then pull against your feet or ankles gently and start to guide the spine forward and down. Just little by little. Keep the breath slow and steady the whole time. And when you're ready to come out of the pose, inhale, lift yourself upright. And let's bring the knees together. Straighten your left leg in front of you, and you can keep the right knee bent. Just pull that heel in a little closer to your hips. Good. Sit up really tall here. And get active in your straight leg. So pretend you're pushing that heel against a wall. We're going to take a seated twist. Raise your right arm up and inhale, and then bring the bent knee toward you as you twist and exhale, taking the right hand behind the back. You can be up on the fingertips here to give yourself some leverage to keep lifting up through the spine. Good. Each time you exhale, see if you can twist a little bit more to the right. And maybe wrap the elbow around the right knee, kind of hugging it a little closer to you. Or you can cross the elbow to the outside of the knee and kind of press against it. That can give you some better twist in the upper back. Take one more deep breath in, and then exhale, unwind that twist and switch legs. Straighten your right leg, bend your left knee and draw the heel close to you and sit up really tall as you hold that shin. Active energy through your straight leg. Let's raise the left arm up and inhale, and then pull the bent knee toward you as you twist, exhale, left hand on the mat behind you. And if you like, wrap the knee in the bend of your elbow or cross the elbow to the outside of the knee, gently pressing against it. Take one more deep breath in and exhale, unwind. Good. Find your strap if you have one. We're going to use it to assist a seated forward bend. So it's extend both legs in front of you. Take that strap and throw it around the balls of the feet. And with a tight grip, pull against it and sit upright as tall as you possibly can. And if sitting upright here with straight legs is too much for your hamstrings, you can either take more height underneath the hips or just bend the knees a little bit. Good, so holding this upright posture, strong in the lower back. Feel your shoulder blades draw down away from the ears. Good, we're going to exhale, tuck the chin to the chest and lengthen your neck, and then start to pull against the strap to guide your spine forward and down over the legs, little by little. And then re-extend your arms so that you're not pulling the whole time. If you have a lot of strap left, keep it. If you're at your feet, you can let go and use your feet instead as you continue to fold down. And if at any point you have pain in your lower back, either come out of the pose or modify by bending the knees more. And tight hamstrings can really restrict the mobility of the lower back. And if you're ready to come out, inhale and come on upright. And put the strap aside. And we're going to take one more seated pose here. Take a wide-legged forward bend, so separate your legs as widely apart as you can. And strong active energy by pressing out through the heels and pointing up through the toes. Take your hands in front of you, a little bit away from your pelvis, and sit upright again as tall as you can. And if your hamstrings are tight, this might be challenging just to stay upright. So you can feel free to work on this part of the pose, actively reaching through the heels. If you're going for the fold, we're going to again drop the head, so lengthen the back of the neck, and then lean forward and try and let your pelvis rotate forward instead of just rounding in the lower back. So just little by little, lengthening your spine. Try and stay as long in the low back as you can. So you should feel this in your inner thighs, very close to the attachment at the hips. Few more breaths here wherever you are. And when you're ready to come out, inhale, slowly walk your hands in and lift your spine. You can lean back a little, take your hands behind the knees, and just help to bring the legs back in. Good, come down off of whatever you might have been sitting on, and we're gonna come to the back again. We're gonna take one more finishing posture before you relax in corpse pose. So carefully lower yourself to the floor. Take a moment to let your back settle once you're down on the mat. And then we're going to take a reclined spinal twist to finish up tonight. Slide your left leg down on the mat and bring your right knee in toward your upper body. And we're going to start to cross it over the hips toward the mat as you float your right arm out to the side to counter the leg. Nice and slowly here. And if you want to give yourself a little adjustment, you can scoot your bottom hip over to the right side of your mat, just a couple of inches, so your SI joints line up here on either side of your sacrum. And just let that right leg feel heavy. You're not pushing it down with your hand, just letting gravity and time help deepen the twist. You can close your eyes if you like. And when you're ready to come out, just slowly unwind. Bend both knees and press against your feet to slide your hips so they feel centered below your shoulders. And just pause there for a few breaths to let your spine release from the shape of the twist. And then when you're ready for the other side, slide your right leg down and gently bring your left knee in toward your upper body and then cross it over your pelvis. Left arm floats out to the side to counter the leg. Just taking your time. And again, bottom hip can move over to the left side of the mat a little bit, a little self-adjustment to help deepen the twist. And when you're ready to come out, exhale and unwind. Bend both knees and adjust your hips so they feel centered below your shoulders. Let your arms relax down by your sides. And again, just pause here a few breaths to let your spine and ribcage settle into the floor. And then when you feel ready for corpse pose, let your legs slide down on the mat, relaxing down in front of you. Make any other adjustments to your position that you might need to be comfortable, and then gently close your eyes. Take a moment once the eyes are closed to scan through your body, just mentally checking in and noticing if there's any active energy that's still lingering in your muscles or your joints. And if so, just try and let that consciously melt away. Take one final deep breath in through your nose and exhale out through your mouth. Feel your lower jaw release and let the tongue and throat relax as you resume your normal, natural breath. No longer breathing deeply or any slower than you typically would. Just let your breath settle back into its natural state. And I'll cue you in a few minutes when it's time to move and get up. So until then, enjoy these few minutes of deep rest for your body and your mind.